Welcome to Reboot with Dr. Arasi Maran. I'm Dr. Arasi, interventional cardiologist, and this is your one-stop shop for all science-related healthy aging, health issues, or whatever science-backed tips you need to go. So today we have a very interesting guest and also a very interesting topic. This is a little bit a topic which is not in my comfort zone, but I have the best expert to kind of help me with that. So today with me, I have Dr. Jayanti Ravichandran. Welcome to the show, Jayanti. Jayanti and I, of course, like most of my guests, go a long, long way from our intern years back in Madras Medical College. Dr. Jayanti is a board certified plastic surgeon and does a lot of aesthetic work. She's also the founder and CEO of Tamira Aesthetics based in Chennai. She has done revolutionary work in the field of plastic surgery and aesthetic surgery. Today, we are going to talk about healthy aging or empowered aging, however you want to call it. Jayanti, welcome to the show.
It's my pleasure connecting with you again, Arasi. I just, thinking back on the days, I know how we were during school days. And when we connected back after my master's, I remember what you asked me. Are they giving you a MS course or a slimming course? So I know we all are really focused, or we would like to maintain ourselves at the best version of what we could.
Yes.
And today, everybody would want to know how, in a healthy way or in the correct scientific way, we can maintain ourselves or age gracefully.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, honest to God, the reason, one of the biggest reasons why I thought of you as a guest today and invited you is this big hoopla right now after Kris Jenner has had a facelift and she looks like a completely different person. She has literally reversed aged and, we know the surgeon's name now, etc., etc. But even then, I wanted to go through the steps, go through the phases of, how do we get there and how do we do that if we have the choice to. And that's what the discussion is going to be focused on.
Lovely. So Kris Jenner is there out in the her facelift or her current appearance is there on the media.
Yeah.
Why everybody is talking about it is because she looks very, whatever transformation that's been offered to her, very natural, and unlike at some situations they look really pulled up, tightened, probably more like a mask face.
Yes.
This is very natural, and also she's very transparent about whatever she's done, and she feels aging gracefully, and everybody knows it's out in the media that she's done it for the second time.
Absolutely.
The facelift, and that is why one is the transparency, and the natural look is why it's spoken about so much. Now, going through the steps today for her, if you have to date back about 2-3 decades, at that point of time, the entire aesthetic, I would say, aesthetic surgery or aesthetic medicine, entire spectrum was more, if we want radical, predicted results, it was more towards surgical.
Okay.
So obviously, facelift was the ultimate for a face and neck rejuvenation post, let's say, 45, 50 years. And the skin types are different. So when we look at the Caucasian skin, type 1 to 3, Fitzpatrick skin type, basically they tend to burn easily and tan less.
Yes.
And they are at an advantage of less visible scars compared to the Asian skin
types,
where we tan more, burn less.
Yes.
But the scar is really visible many times. It gets hyperpigmented, hypertrophic. So all are dark skin types. So it's been very different when you talk about these procedures in different, I would say, not just the skin types, in different parts of the world.
That's a great point, because I'm sure the number of referrals for facelifts must have gone up after everyone has seen Kris Jenner's facelift. But it's important to know who would benefit out of it and who would not benefit and who's going to scar more, etc. So let's go back, and can you deep dive or break down this Fitzpatrick skin types? You said
Yeah,
type 1 to 3, etc.
yeah.
Break
So
that down.
yeah, so Fitzpatrick's we have six skin types. So 1 to 3 is usually they burn more and tan less because their melanin content is different. Whereas 4, 5, 6, the melanin content is different here, and we tan more and burn less.
Is it okay to kind of say the 1 to 4 is more of a Caucasian skin type,
I would say
and
1 to 3.
1 to 3 is Caucasian, and 4, 5, 6 is more the
Asian, yeah,
South Asian, Middle Eastern
correct.
skin types.
So
Okay.
5, 6 is more towards the African, if
Okay.
you want to categorize
Darker,
it,
much
skin
more
type.
darker
Yeah.
skin types.
So
Okay.
each have their advantage as well as the disadvantage. It's not just the skin types, but our ethnicity as such also gives certain advantage and disadvantage.
Okay.
So apart from just the skin, because of the changes, they are less. If you look most at the Caucasian skin, they age faster.
Yes,
So
definitely.
appearance of wrinkles or more, I would say, volume
lines,
less.
yes.
Yeah, less volume, more wrinkled face. But if you look at the Asian side, we are actually opposite of that.
Yes.
The wrinkles starts appearing later for us because we have more support tissue in the
Yes.
skin. Our dermis is thicker, but at the same time we have more voluminous face. So most of us, if you see, the lower face and neck is heavy.
Yes.
So that is when all these different types of procedures actually today I would say the entire aesthetic medicine surgical space is going through a change because we are moving more and more towards energy based device, minimally invasive procedures versus a very radical procedure.
Yes. Yes.
One, the number of seekers for these procedures are on the rise. And of course, we want to have less downtime, less risk, less complication, but more results.
Absolutely. I mean, we always want more.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So that is the transformation that we're going through.
So let's go through, it's really surprising. There was a time when we were, in our 20s and 30s, facelift was like considered the ultimate procedure, like what you
Absolutely.
said. And usually people would think, oh, I get one facelift in my lifetime.
Absolutely.
And now, like with this Kris Jenner, she's done 2 facelifts, and the second one was even better than the first one. So I think that's why everyone is like, whoa,
Correct.
because we've seen other people, Joan Collins, etc., their face did not look natural. It looked like a, very
Correct.
pulled and very, very artificial. You can make out that is not the right, that's not the way you would want to look. It wasn't aging gracefully, as you put it. What is the general downtime for a facelift?
So talking about in specific Kris Jenner, so whatever I have read from the medical release or the press release or the media is probably there are 2 types of facelift. The first one less radical, and this time it's probably a deep plain facelift. So
Yes.
there are usually we call SMAS facelifts related, that is superficial muscular upper system. Tightening it gives a lifted appearance.
So that is the system below your face, and just your subcutaneous, the next level
so
of.
we have fat, skin, and then we have fat, and then in the face we have what is called superficial muscular upper system, because it's all one composite unit in the face. We have fat, we have muscle planes, nerves going through that, blood vessels, and ligaments. So we have these retaining ligaments which holds tissues in specific places until they become loose.
Yeah.
So the moment they become loose, there is some amount of descent, but because they are retaining them, it doesn't, the whole unit does not move down, but specific areas moves down. That's why we get specific folds like the nasolabial fold or the marionette fold or the jowling, we call it,
Yes,
because
yes.
you have a descent and the jawline definition is gone. And of course, when these retaining ligaments becomes loose, we have even descent of some salivary, like submandibular salivary gland, that
Oh,
also
okay.
descends. Now we have gone one step more at the recent ISAPS. I just returned from Olympiad, where we are looking at people who are even addressing parotids.
Oh, wow. Because you do see age-related parotid enlargement.
Absolutely.
For the listeners, parotid gland is a salivary gland. It produces saliva. It just sits below your ear lobule. And you can see enlargement of
Correct.
it. And you can see the ear lobule getting lifted up and
So
etc.
in our ethnicity, you would say that's when you have a very bulky low face and neck. So even that removal of that is now
That's a
slowly
big
coming.
surgical procedure.
Yeah. So why? I mean, even olden days, it's not that one facelift will give us the reversed look throughout our entire life, but it was more like we we thought we could not do a second facelift.
Absolutely, yes.
But today it's different. We know that if when we do a facelift, a normal facelift probably could last anywhere from 5 to 7 years or so. And if you do a deep plain facelift, the results could last longer, 10 to 15 years.
Okay.
But none of it is like an entire lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, we are also living longer, right? So, I mean,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Earlier, life expectancy 55, 65. We might be the first generation of people. If we live right, we could easily hit 90s and hundreds, or even, we might hit there.
Yeah, because also the longevity, all
Medicine
of
is,
it, you're
yes,
saying
absolutely.
you see regenerative medicine, longevity
Absolutely, yeah.
medicine is going
Yeah.
to it's going to hit a big way in the next decade, is what I feel. And of course, we may live longer, and obviously, what
And
we
I hope
feel,
we live healthier.
of course. So the reason why somebody would do this is, as youthful as we feel inside, we also want to reflect that
Absolutely,
outside.
yeah.
So it's as simple as that. So, but this particular thought is actually making people look towards the aesthetic procedures much earlier in life.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but it depends on whether you're going to convince me or not about the downtime and the risks. And, okay, let me talk about what I know as surgical procedures. I know the first time you have open heart surgery, it's X amount of 10% risk of major complication. But if you go for a second open heart surgery, the complication risk outweighs the benefits, and most surgeons don't offer it. But here you guys are going into the face like as if it's no big deal and doing a second facelift, a deep plane facelift. Is the complication rates not higher when you go for a second procedure?
The answer is yes, but I know you, so I know people. You might have stented somebody before.
Yes,
You're
yes,
stenting
yes.
again. Why are we doing that? Because like every other medical procedures,
The skills comes.
it was very, very surgeon dependent. You need to be extremely skilled at it. Yes, you can have nerve damage, you can have a hematoma,
Yes.
you can have asymmetry between the two sides of the face, because in a deep facelift, you're pulling the entire muscle and the system as a composite unit. And so you need to do it symmetrically on both sides,
Okay.
and you have to take care of the nerves, and of course you have to not allow excessive tension on the suture line. Very important. Because what eventually everybody sees is the scar.
Yes.
So with some skin, the scar usually heals better, but it may not be the same all skin types. So these procedures to be done by a skilled surgeon, and for the surgeon to become skilled, you have to do multiple procedures,
Yeah.
correct choice of patient, and more important is for the patients to understand the downtime expectation.
Yes.
So also because it's not that it can be we cannot get, even after a facelift, the entire appearance. It's because even the bone undergoes changes with
Yes,
age. So
yes.
we are not going to make someone look like how they were in their 20s. That's
Yes.
not the goal of a facelift. It's the goal of the facelift is to make you appropriate to that age, but that what is that appropriateness
It's
is
very
what defines.
subjective.
Is
It's
very
very
subjective.
subjective.
So Kris Jenner looks very today. It's we are not talking about whether she looks in her 20s or 30s. That's not the discussion.
That's not
the
a discussion.
discussion is she looks very graceful.
Yes, she looks very graceful. So let me flip it the other way around. Why even get a regular facelift? Why not just get the deep plane facelift if it's
Okay.
lasting longer?
Okay, so like I mentioned, deep plain
Plain face.
facelift comes with its own risks of complication and scarring, asymmetry, and
Okay.
and
I mean,
still
isn't it
will
like
last to 10 to 15 years. And so if somebody opts for it at 50, at 65, now repeating the deep facelift becomes more risky.
Okay. I got it. So if I'm kind of getting this right, the regular standard facelift where you get the incision in front of your ear lobule is your 40s, 50s kind of a procedure, and maybe in your later 60s or 70s might be the second deep plane facelift.
No, so the incision is the same for both.
Oh,
So
okay.
it is only how the procedure is done below the skin,
Okay.
right? So whether you're going to do this facelift at what age is what is going to decide now. Like I mentioned, with more and more non-surgical procedures, energy-based devices that are coming into the market, probably the age at which somebody is going to come for facelift is going to push
pushed farther.
far. At that time, probably deep plane facelift will be the best possible
Okay.
option for them.
And so you may not need two facelifts and you might preserve yourself toward.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got it.
So this is where we are heading towards. So at 20s, people we start doing some injectables and toxins. Then we start adding some energy devices. So we are maintaining the collagen remodulation, and we are also controlling the descent of tissues. And probably if we do that right, we can push the requirement for facelift. So because why do eventually we need facelift is if there is significant skin laxity and we cannot tighten them with non-surgical device, or you cannot lift without a bunching of the skin, we have to cut and remove.
Yes.
So anyway, that has to be done at some point. So the longer you push that, and at that point you do it more aggressively, but one time, probably the results are going to last longer and it's going to be more natural and better.
Fantastic. So now let's come to what are the healthy habits a 20-year-old or 30-year-old can kind of inculcate in their daily lives to have the healthy aging we're talking about.
This is a very, very interesting topic, and I really need to thank you for giving me an opportunity, because I actually tell this to every patient of mine, and this is the place where I can talk and tell you the one important thing is sleeping on time. Many of them think that it's okay to sleep 8 hours. So it's not, I mean, either 8 hours from whenever they sleep. Probably if I sleep at 2, I will sleep for 8 hours after that. Publications that are coming in, research, we all know that the melatonin starts secreting once the eyes do not see any light.
Yes.
With modernization, now we are exposed to light, not indoor lights, blue lights from devices, and all of that. And probably if we are going to sleep 12, 1, and until then we are constantly exposed to this light.
Yes.
And there is constant firing, and probably melatonin
Doesn't
is
come
not
out,
secreting enough. So based on whatever medical literature says, melatonin secretion, the amount it is secreted, the duration for which it is secreted, actually helps the other cells to repair during that time.
Interesting.
So probably most of the our what today we think as genetic disorders probably are usually associated with lifestyle.
Yeah.
So aging as well, if you ask me what is one thing that everybody should do if they want to age gracefully is to have a good lifestyle. When I mean good lifestyle is to sleep on time and eat on time and eat healthy, because another interesting topic I would like to tell you is one of our plastic surgeons, he was actually speaking on his golden oration in a recent congress, and he was talking about how he changed his lifestyle when he felt that he was just operating and he had a lot of medical issues. So in that oration he shared his experience, and what he mentioned is, he said, I ate the same food at same time
Times,
for
yeah.
4 to 6 weeks, and I experienced my gut actually, the leaky gut and all of that got corrected. The moment that got corrected, all the other metabolic diseases that he actually was going through also reversed.
Absolutely. I was literally about to say, from what you're telling me, with our current lifestyles, we are doomed. We should go ahead and bank money for our.
Absolutely.
But even then, I think, with this whole reboot and everything, we have taken steps to kind of simplify our lifestyles or our habits. And your friend, your colleague who mentioned eating the same thing and not making food a big drama process, eating the same breakfast, same lunch, same dinner. So you're not wasting mental energy thinking about that, and it's
Absolutely.
quick, fast, and you
Because
move
the
on.
gut understands that at specific time it is going to get specific food.
Yes.
So actually it helps to correct it. That's exactly what he mentioned. And I mean, I took his words because he experienced it and he shared it in the oration. And I've been telling this over last 2-3 months, and patients come back telling me that in 6 weeks I've lost 10 kilos simply just following this.
Yes,
I
making
start at
simplifying
8:30
food.
when the sun rises, and I mean morning, and I finish by 6:30.
Yeah.
I take 3 meals, standard meals, no extra addition, keep it as simple as possible. The same food, no complicating. And when the gut knows that I'm going to get this food at this time, it resets on automatically.
Yeah.
Earlier we thought, when we were talking about skin and hair, and we spoke about if you have anemia, we know anemia, low blood, hemoglobin, and we just load patients with iron tablets.
Yes.
Today, very clear science papers, they say if you put too much of iron, the gut does not absorb them.
Yes.
So it's not like when somebody has low hemoglobin, give them loads of iron tablets, also tell them to eat iron rich food at the same time. It doesn't work that way anymore. So there are very clear understanding that good lifestyle, sleep
Yes.
on time, eat healthy, eat on time, and this actually helps to improve the skin and hair and your overall collagen remodulation, everything. And suppose our work demands sleeping late, then obviously I would advise taking supplements. So melatonin supplements to understand till we reverse the gut. So that's what I encourage everybody. See, just a thought. Also, this was shared by one of the doctors who actually, in one study, he said he took a group of professionals, doctors, engineers, lawyers, all groups of professionals, different population, and studied the pattern baldness. And there was one group which did not have pattern baldness. Can you guess?
I can't guess what it is.
So he felt those who were living in the street, the beggars, actually did not have pattern baldness.
Are you serious?
Really?
Wow.
So after that, I came back and I started to look at these documentaries that are available from the untouched tribal documentaries, and I couldn't find pattern baldness there as well.
Interesting. So are you saying baldness is not hormonal and it is more lifestyle mediated? That'll be
the
wild.
Lifestyle is causing hormonal change, and it is causing epigenetic change, and it is causing baldness.
Wow. That's wild. That's really wild.
Really, because if you see them, you will see that they don't have all these pattern baldness, and they're living long years.
Yes.
So no diabetes. I mean, you can see them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So either they have found their own preventive medicine or they don't have it.
Yeah.
So a healthy lifestyle is what we need to adopt in early 20s. And also, of course, necessary precautions. If you have a lifestyle which is very outdoor, sports activities, spending time,
In the
probably
sun.
protect your skin the way it requires, understand the skin. There's also talk, I mean, a lot of publications, or not publications, people have different theories. Some say if you put too much of sunscreen, those like avobenzene, all these getting absorbed, they are carcinogenic, and so do not use sunscreen. So everything has its moderation. How
Yes.
much you use, how much to use, how long to
To
use,
use.
and the risk benefit ratio.
Absolutely.
So are we at a higher risk among different population? If we don't use sunscreen, are we at a higher risk of getting skin cancer? Or we, if we use more sunscreen, do we get other cancers?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's a very relative subject, and I think it varies with skin types. So at early age, very healthy lifestyle, very good skincare routine to follow. This will be the basic to age gracefully in
Gracefully.
future.
Absolutely. So, you mentioned this briefly. So let's move from the 20s to the 30s. I was I don't know, call it stubborn or call it whatever. I refused Botox till maybe a couple of years ago. I said, okay, fine, you're in your late 40s, RC, you need to do it. But I had friends who embraced, treatments in their 30s itself. I mean, it's true. I've asked this question before, and I still ask it with a little bit of a healthy dose of skepticism. Is there really something called preventive Botoxes?
No, I understand what you want to, when you say preventive Botox, is the reason behind it is because if we animate our face, we are likely to get
With lines,
wrinkles.
yes.
So animate less, so less likely to get wrinkles.
Yes.
So you put Botox before, but that's only if we do not maintain the skin properly, right? So instead of saying do preventive Botox, I would say maintain a healthy skin.
I love that.
So maintain a healthy skin, which is very important. And
Live your life,
when,
man. Animate away.
and when it gets to a point where you can't maintain it, and there are signs of aging showing up, then you take whatever that
Good.
needs to be done.
I think I intuitively followed that because I was like, you obviously it's also about you start certain habits, you need to be able to continue them. And I just was like, if I'm going to start in my 30s, and I mean, I hope I live till my 80s. I'm like, for 50 years, every 6 months, I have to go to a dermatologist's office to do that. It was literally overwhelming me. And of course, me being the rebellious me, when I started it, I did it. And I was like, let me see what happens. And I let it go for 1 or 2 years. And I was like, okay. And I found my own sweet spot. I refuse to believe every 6 months, like clockwork, I need to be.
Absolutely.
I was like, I'm going to see when I notice where I used to be, which made me want to get Botox in the first place. And then I will go. It's not going to be a calendar reminder or something like that. I'm not going to say, those are the things that annoys me with the industry, where they say, oh, preventive Botox. If you choose to do that, that's more power to you. There's nothing wrong with that. At the same time, reminders, it's not a dental cleaning. It's not like every 6 months you need to go get your teeth cleaned, like go get your Botox. That's the issue I take with the industry.
No, I really agree with you, RC. I had a few days ago, I have a young, beautiful 16-year young school kid who.
What is she doing in your office at 16 years of age?
She felt that she's heard or read from the media. She's heard a lot of people from her school friends saying that if you take intravenous glutathione, the skin will rejuvenate and look brighter and youthful. And so it's very important that we don't spread wrong ideas to young children.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to just say it. I kind of feel the whole healthcare industry has taken depigmentation and has rebirthed it as brightness, and they are selling it.
Absolutely.
And it irritates me. Why are we still going after this fair and lovely days, or all that nonsense? And they're like, oh, look at my skin, it's so bright. I said, no, you just wanted it lighter. You're just catering to the white skin mythology or whatever, like that. And I just, this brightness irritates me more than anything.
They understand it. They're young minds, right? So
Of course,
they
yes.
understand it differently.
Yeah.
What they perceive is actually, I would say, the child did not mean what she was saying.
Yes.
She just meant that, okay, if I take IV glutathione, probably I'm going to look more attractive. That's all.
That's all her mind goes
So
to. Yeah.
She understood what she thinks is, okay, if I become, the skin glows, I will look attractive, or if I become fair, I will look attractive. So people come with this myth, and starting at, so for me, it's more than giving intravenous, even though it's an antioxidant,
Yes,
giving them.
yes.
It's like nothing is permanent.
Absolutely.
So most important for you to understand is nothing is permanent.
Yeah.
Right? None of the aesthetic procedure is I mean, unless it's done for a corrective procedure,
Yes.
like we do after multiple pregnancies. If you do an abdominoplasty or you do a gynecomastia surgery, then you don't keep repeating them again.
Absolutely. That's a different. We're not talking about that at all here.
Other than that, any of these procedures like a neurotoxin or a filler or an energy device or an IV, they all are, they give you some results for some time, but you have to repeat them.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's, the earlier you start, one, you need to know whether you're going to be able to maintain it,
Yes.
right? Because you're causing certain whatever
changes
or whatever.
Skin. Yeah.
So that's very important. So when somebody comes into the clinic, the most important thing that I would like to understand is, are they willing to maintain?
Absolutely.
Right? So
it's not one and done.
Yeah, it's not one and done. Then why do it, right? Like, for example, if you take even a hair transplant, many people think, why do I have to take all these medicines? Why do I have to apply minoxidil? I will just do hair transplant and I'm done with it. For the rest of my life, I'm going to have scalp full of hair. And that's a myth people have, like the facelift.
Yes.
They thought that, okay, 50s, I do one facelift. For the rest of my life, I'm going to just remain, I've reversed from 50 to 40 and I will remain at 40 throughout my life. It isn't so.
Yeah.
We are going to continue to age. We can take whatever that is required to age gracefully.
Well, yes.
And we can take measures to whatever has, if it has, the skin has laxed, and if there is a descent of tissue, correct it at appropriately at the appropriate age.
Absolutely.
See, somebody who's there are people who have lost massive weight, right? So that's, obesity is a big issue now.
Absolutely.
So at 20 and when 25 and they lose about 50-60 kilos, obviously they become, many of these procedures needs to be done at a much younger age.
That is a completely different story, right? That is more of, they had a true disease. They were suffering with obesity. They have got it under control. Now they have to damage control from that itself. So, and that's a chronic disease, and they will be fighting obesity for the rest of their lives in whatever means or forms.
So these are two things. So you very clearly, beautifully explained that that's like a damage control measure.
Yes.
Similarly, if you take men or women as they age, women especially when they go through pregnancy and there are certain
menopause, everything.
So anatomical changes that happens. So that then again, that's a damage control.
Absolutely.
Right. So these are very different.
Yes.
So we are looking at damage control separately from trying to enhance or preventive, like you said, preventive Botox.
Yeah.
So now, when we talk about it, and we're talking about beauty and lifestyle and cosmetics, so there are a lot of procedures, minimally invasive or non-invasive aesthetic procedures that are coming into the market as preventive measures to maintain. There's a thought process. I start them at 20, probably I can maintain myself at 20. Right? So that's how it started. And that's why you see the revolution where we started using fillers, and we thought that when we put fillers, it goes from 1 cc, let's say it's from 0 to 100, and then it comes to 0, then again I put 0 to 100, but it
Jesus.
wasn't that way. There is some residual filler in some part of the
Yes,
tissue,
yes.
and it's absorbing water, and that's why you hear the
The
word
pillow face.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what happens is more common with the Asian, like I was saying, lower face, because there is a descent. We are not having in
Gravity is a very powerful force.
very, very powerful force, especially that shows if you're also losing weight. We don't manage our weight, so that remains another thing. So at 20 or younger, what's important is to manage your weight
Weight.
from a younger age,
Yes.
right? So when we don't manage that, and we put on and then we reduce, and now I'm sure you've heard of the next Ozempic.
Ozempic
or
face, yes.
yeah, so with all of this coming in, and we're losing a lot, and if you don't combine them with strength training and
Protein intake and
all of
everything.
that,
Yeah,
we
hormone
are going to
balance.
have, that's going to, all those have to be addressed. So it's very, very important for us to focus now on a healthy lifestyle if we want to age gracefully, and select the procedures, not overdo these fillers. Our skin, when to identify if it's just a descent of the tissue, and so we used fillers. So those
Yes.
days, what we the initial is when we didn't have all these threads or the other newer technologies that's available, endo lasers and everything. When we want to lift the descended tissue, we thought we will use fillers
Yes.
as a like the fillers as pillars to lift the tissue.
Okay,
And
interesting.
that is why today we are now ending up with what we call pillow
Pillow
face.
faces.
And believe me, I'll tell you, yesterday I had a consult. So this patient actually consulted for breast reduction now, but a couple of weeks ago, I mean, not couple of weeks, couple of years ago, she's done breast fillers. So I do not recommend body fillers at all, because you need to put large volume, and we do not know, we still don't have enough studies to say if they remain for that long, what are the changes they're going to cause in the body.
Absolutely, yeah.
And she had developed severe lumps and hyperpigmentation, and then I had to tell her, please get an MRI. I need
To
to know
understand where the fillers
where
are.
the
Yeah,
fillers are,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it looks obviously she's got heavy breasts, and it's all lumpy. And people do body fillers not just for breast, even for buttocks. So recently, again in the same congress, I was looking at someone who was trying to extract these fillers. Like
Jeez,
it
man.
was like a, it literally, they are milky white like a pus. They were squeezing it out, and now
God.
I can imagine that when I
Same thing was.
I'm going to
Oh
do the same thing
God,
for her in the
that's
breast.
gross.
And when
Yeah.
we squeeze it out, we don't know where all they come out and how to put them tissues back
Tissues back
to
in
get the
place.
right shape. It's going to be a big challenge. So with all of these, people want quick fix. They want, see, so what she was trying to tell me is, there's it's very popular in the Asian side, the Thailand and all of these places. So it's quickly available. You have a party in the evening, you go and get breast filler because it's instant fix, gratification. They don't, at that point of time, they do not think about what's going to come later.
Do they think that it gets resorbed or something? Like, what is this? This is
So
not
there's
like makeup where you can put it on before a party and wash it
So
out.
probably there's some sort of an overselling too.
Yes, yes.
They hear somebody saying, "Oh, I got it done, and it's quick, and there is no surgery, so you don't have to get scared."
Yeah, yeah.
All of it. So they do not realize that,
Yeah.
so they just go and get it done. But we know that all of this
comes
the
back.
consequences. See, unless certain procedures. Of course, we have FDA, US
Yes,
FDA,
yes,
or
yes,
European
absolutely.
CE mark. All they go through certain tests, wait for publications, see what benefit, risks, and embracing these procedures after these are available, I would say, is much wiser
Yes.
than just jumping into them because it's available in the market.
See, sometimes I feel like we are taking our face and these procedures a little bit for granted. We don't seem to evaluate the risks of all of the risk benefit ratio calculation and think of it truly like makeup or something like that.
Yeah, and the media is also
Oh yeah,
playing
social
because
media is the big hype. So I want to go through, I might not have a very extensive list of procedures which are available. So help me out here,
sure.
okay? Uh, PRP facials, do they work?
Yes.
PRP is the platelet-rich plasma. They take your own blood, spin it, take the platelets, and it's supposed to give you growth factors. And it's vampire facial or something they call it, right?
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah. So the answer is if it's PRP, that is, which means if it's a platelet-rich plasma, there is science behind it to say that it can help in remodulation. So you basically create controlled injuries with
Okay.
either a microneedle
Okay.
or a derma roller or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it is, and then you apply these growth factors or you inject them. That will cause collagen remodulation. Any
Okay.
damage has to be repaired,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
But preparing this PRP has so much of human variability.
So
right?
it has to be a good standardized protocol of preparation of the
Yes,
PRP.
because otherwise it's just plasma.
They're just spinning something and
You
putting
take
into
blood from here and you're just putting it, right?
back. That's
So,
not going to work.
so the answer is, if it's not PRP, it will not work.
Okay, fine.
So if it's rich in plasma, it will work
Okay.
based on science.
All right. Okay. Salmon DNA or salmon sperm DNA facial?
Yeah.
Is it the same theory like a vampire facial?
So again, here we are trying to put peptides or polynucleotides or whatever we are, everything boils down to growth factors that whether they are human derived or derived from some other tissue, either it's salmon DNA or we are from plant also you have all of this. It's all for, I would say we are trying to remodulate elastin, collagen that we have lost, and those reactive oxygen species that generated in the skin because of either ultraviolet exposure, blue light exposure, whatever, all of this for corrective. Yes, the answer is they all can help in this remodulation, but how much of these that are commercially available has the concentration, strength, and
It's
also
not standardized.
it's not standardized.
So it's like a world, like the Wild West when it comes to all these products.
Obviously. So you have hundreds of them. You have 100 companies producing them. So we do not know. You can tell me that you went to some place, you had a salmon DNA and you had a great result. Someone will come and say, I had no result.
Yes. Okay.
Because it's not the same products, same company. It's like, generally if some patients ask me, I'll say, you have different brands of makeup.
Yes.
Why do you have different brands of makeup? Right? So there are some brands of makeup which use good quality of ingredients which are not harmful to the skin, and you may use it as many times as you want, still not harmful.
Yes.
We've heard of using lipstick having lead and then
and cancer risk.
But now you also now we are moving towards natural lipstick, beetroot
vegans
lipstick,
and beetroots
everything.
So
similarly, is the what? So yes, PRP, if it's platelet rich, it will have benefit. Salmon DNA facials have benefit.
Actually have the salmon DNA and the right amount of salmon DNA, it will be a benefit. Okay.
Yes.
So microneedling versus Morpheus.
So both are microneedles.
Okay.
Right? Only in Morpheus you have radio frequency energy added to the microneedling. So microneedle, they cause controlled injury. So if you look at acne, it's an uncontrolled injury. The inflammation is uncontrolled, right? But when you do a controlled injury and we help we adopt certain measures to form right amount of collagen to heal these injuries, you get better scars. That's the principle. So when you the microneedles cause the injuries, the radio frequency helps to form better collagen. That's a difference.
So it's an addition. So microneedling, and then you add the radio frequency on top to get. Okay. So how about CO2 lasers? Because I see social media is filled with, they put the CO2 laser and you can visibly see the skin tightening, etc. Is it as gratifying result as the visuals look?
So we spoke about microneedles, right? So plain microneedle with radio frequency.
Yes.
And the radio frequency, depending on how deep the microneedle can go, it can and how much can you play with the adjusting the radio frequency. It will come with different platforms. You can either cause fat lysis or you can cause collagen remodulation, whatever you want.
Okay.
Now we are moving from that to the lasers. So lasers are earlier, like you said, CO2 is an ablative laser, which what we mean is, let's say we apply CO2 on a 1 square centimeter area. That whole 1 square centimeter, you can burn it off.
Okay.
To a specific depth.
Okay.
Because laser has a wavelength.
Yes.
So you set to an energy, it can go to maximum depth. It will ablate that full 1 square centimeter. But what happens? We are depending on the stem cells from the surrounding that 1 square centimeter to grow and heal it. So what happened in darker skin, in some skin, it was not, there was long downtime for it to grow, and some areas did not completely grow
Heal
back.
at all.
And so you developed a hypopigmented or less pigmented spot, white spot. So then we decided we will fractionate it, which means instead of ablating that 1 square centimeter, we will put 100 rods in them.
Okay, so the neighboring tissue has ability to heal.
Yeah, so
better.
it doesn't have to come from the borders. The neighboring tissue will heal.
Okay,
that is when we started having fractional laser.
lasers.
So if you have a small mole which is 2-3 millimeter, 4 millimeter, you just ablate it.
Okay.
Then that's enough tissue from surrounding tissue comes and grows back. But if you have a large pigmented area, then it's better to have fractionated laser. Now you must understand what we mean by fractionated laser is laser has different tissue interactions. That is, when it is applied on the skin, it can cause different changes. It can be also used to create controlled injuries, just like a microneedle.
Yes.
But then laser is light, which is absorbed by specific chromophore, and then it converts into heat.
Yes.
So then we call it selective photothermolysis.
Okay.
So that heat is what is actually causing most of the effect that we want.
Okay.
Like laser hair removal
Yes.
for pigment. Now that same heat in darker skin can induce the melanin and can cause hyperpigmentation.
Okay.
So again, the same kind of device can have a better, so we may be able to work better, do differentiations with less complication in a type 1 to 3 or 4 skin versus 5
and
darker
6
skin. So it's not that we can translate the same protocol
across
everybody.
the border.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that's something we have to learn. So laser has specific indication. So, and when we try to, and of course all our medical field, right? We are constantly trying to innovate something.
Absolutely.
So when we have a laser, we want to know what more can I do?
Yes.
How can I tweak the settings, or how can I modify this? What more can we do? So we are constantly trying to innovate. So we have different types of lasers, and all laser have to be absorbed by a chromophore or a pigment. So you have lasers where when it's oxyhemoglobin, if it absorbs, then you correct any hemangioma or anything that is red.
Okay.
And if it is melanin, lasers that absorb my melanin, so any pigmentation, hair removal, we use those lasers for that. So similarly, we have, if you want like carbon dioxide, CO2 laser is basically it is absorbed by water.
Okay.
So in all skin cells, they all have water, right?
Yes.
Collagen, elastin, all have water. So then it's used for skin resurfacing.
Okay. So it resurfaces the skin. Does it help in collagen production?
Yes, it can, depending on how you use. It also helps in collagen remodulation as well.
Okay.
So earlier, where if you look at 2-3 years, they used to ablate the whole face. It's like literally saying if you put hot water on your face, how it will
burn. Yeah.
So the whole thing, and then it took 3-4 weeks for them to get back new skin. But then because we want to find out less downtime and less complication, Then the newer
Newer
lasers came to the market.
Is thermage radio frequency, or I mean, thermage is another
Yes.
remodulation tool?
Yes, thermage is radio frequency. So let me break this up for you. So we have 4 energies. So we have ultrasound, we have radio frequency, we have laser, we have electron muscle stimulation, we have microwave, or so these are the energies that are available for us to use in
for
facial. And of course, one more last, cryolipolysis.
Okay.
So all these are available for us to use in aesthetic work. So there are different, if you take radio frequency, it can be a monopolar. Monopolar radio frequency is something like a Bowie.
Yes,
right?
When we are cutting tissue in
so
in
you have
surgery.
Skin tags and all of that. We cut. Why do we use that versus laser? Is because because pigmentation issue is less in darker skin. So we use monopolar radio frequency. So similarly, we also use so in monopolar radio frequency, you need an earth pad. You apply somewhere and it has to return back somewhere.
Yes.
So that is monopolar, right? Bipolar, so thermage is also a monopolar radio frequency where we put a return pad, and at some depth the radio frequency is given. So it can cause, the main purpose is collagen remodulation, tightening. But if you have a very thin skin, it can also cause fat lysis.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Right? So how you play with that energy will help you to sculpt your face.
Okay.
Now you have, the next one is what you have, bipolar or multipolar radio frequency. Is you have the needles going in and delivering the radio frequency. In the handpiece that is there, you have the return pad taking it back there itself.
Taking it back there itself. Okay, interesting.
The multipolar is between the electrodes itself, the needles. It's the both to and fro is happening. So these are different devices that are available. What we're talking about is brand Morpheus is also a radio frequency device, and Thermage is also a radio frequency device.
So what I'm getting here is you really need to go to an expert to figure out what kind of device is best suited for your skin type. And this is not some random menu you can pick off.
No.
From that's not, but that's how it's being served. Oh, Thermage is, this is the cost. This is not like, oh, I have X amount of money and therefore I will pick this particular tool. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work that way.
You have to be evaluated, your skin type, your skin needs, what you're asking for, your age, hormone status. It's very in-depth and not as easy as it is portrayed or sold.
Definitely.
Right,
see, we also combine energy. So you have Thermage, then you have ultrasound, that is high intensity focus ultrasound. But now it's even more moving towards different technologies. Right, it need not be HIFU, which you have heard of.
HIFU, I've seen on the
and different brand names you would have heard of. Altera, all of these are brand names using this high intensity focus ultrasound. Then we have now endolasers. So we have laser which we deliver through a fiber below the skin. Right, again based on the platform, you can lyse fat, collagen remodulation. So then we have the cryolipolysis, which freezes the fat. I'm sure you've also heard of
Sculpt and the
Cool Sculpting is a brand. Kybella is an injection. So we are trying to do a chemical lipolysis. So you can have cryo, that is fat lipolysis. You can have heat lipolysis, and you have injectable lipolysis. So
there are multiple ways to skin this cat is what I'm
Absolutely. So you're right. I think you bang on it. So what is our purpose? We want to reduce fat. How are we going to reduce fat? You have all of these available. You have little more, or you have more.
All I can tell people is you might reduce the localized fat, but if you don't lose your visceral fat, none of this matters.
We are also coming out with that.
Hey, does it cause metabolic effects?
Well, now there is a new device, which is, I think very soon it's going to be, I think it's already launched in some part of the world. One of the first devices, see the electron muscle stimulation, right? EMS stimulation, which we do. It is like doing a cardio, right? So we are, let's say, you do
I know, I've seen that. Does that really work?
It works. See, imagine you're doing 1,000 crunches.
Okay.
If you do 1,000 crunches, will you lose weight or not?
I mean, you'll build muscle. I'm not sure you lose weight
You do
because
also, right? Because you are also burning calories,
yes,
right? The
yes, but
metabolic activity.
yeah,
So see that the point here is whether every equipment that is available in the market does the job correctly.
yes,
We are talking about technology and what it can do. We are not talking about which device using the technology will deliver the result,
yeah.
right? If the tell me if it makes sense, if that same crunches,
The
1,000
same
crunches can
muscle
be done.
is stimulated more and more, that muscle will get stronger, but there is no spot reduction of fat.
That is not for fat reduction, that is only for muscle building.
Okay, yeah,
And you
yeah, so
increase your metabolic activity, and because of metabolic activity your overall reduction increases.
yeah.
That's how it is. It is not for spot
But you have to do
reduction.
1,000 crunches every day for a prolonged period of time to have a meaningful effect. But
No,
crunches cannot be a only form of exercise or only mode
no,
of.
so but that need not be applied only for the abdomen, because we apply it even to the pelvic floor muscles. So women who are suffering from
Yeah,
vesicourinary
that is,
incontinence,
yes, that's
so
a
when you
different
don't they're not suitable for a sling
surgical
procedure or
procedures.
anything, you when you want to tighten the metal, I mean, so muscle, obviously we
Yeah,
use the same
yeah,
energy. So
exactly. Yeah,
these are all, I would say,
applications available.
it's applications that's available. It's not like you said, it's not an a la carte of procedures
Yes.
where you just pick and choose whatever
Yes,
you
this is
want.
not like, oh, I'll have this dish and with this side dish and this entree with this appetizer. It is not that at
No,
all. Because, you see people, oh, I'm going to go to Korea or Thailand and an AI analyzes my face and AI tells me 50 different procedures. I think we will definitely get there, and maybe Thailand and Korea are
no,
already
no, but
there,
that I'm going to disagree with you,
which is
because
scary.
which AI will probably be able to tell you. I mean, this is my prediction.
Okay.
Let's say, because that's a subject that I'm really passionate about.
Yes.
So, if I talk to Arasi, I would I mean, if the AI can understand what Arasi would like to have as the eventual result,
Uh-huh.
right? And if AI has the in-depth knowledge of what each of these energies can deliver,
Mm-hmm.
and if the AI can say, okay, Arasi, this is how you are now. This is how
You
these
would
are the
like to look.
this is how you can look. 5 different versions. Then
Mm-hmm.
you pick. I want to look like this. If it can predict
Mm.
exactly, if you actually pick this from the menu, you can look like this. Or if you combine this with this, you can look like this. Probably if
It
we
will
get to
get,
that
I think we
stage,
will get there very quickly. The way things are
if
moving.
we get to that stage, then it solves a lot of problem.
Yes,
So you can
yes,
decide, okay, I want to be here. So it's more predictable when it comes to device and the protocols,
yes, absolutely. Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
it's more, I would say, it becomes more objective. But when we will get there and how long will it take, it's a
Taken,
long
and how
story.
much it's going to cost us, we don't know.
We do not know.
Well, Jayanti, this has been a fabulous discussion. I learned so much, and this was a fun discussion, nevertheless. I think, even though there are so many different procedures available, I love the fact that you started with be healthy, sleep better, have a better lifestyle, and actually healthy aging starts from inside. Yes, we have all these tools to help you, but it all starts from living a
Absolutely.
better life.
Absolutely. Thank you, Arasi, for giving me this opportunity. It was fun connecting with you after so many years.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you all for joining us with Reboot with Dr. R.C. Marin. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And I hope we answered some of the questions you could have had about the different menus or options available. Again, there are many ways to skin this cat. Please go to a registered healthcare professional who has subject matter expertise in this area to get what you need, and don't go to random social media, whatever, and get messed up. Follow us at Reboot with Dr. R.C. Marin. And if you have more questions, please do leave us a comment. And Dr. Jayanti is based in Chennai, India, and she has Tamira Aesthetic Spa. And we will kind of put her connection details as well so that you can reach out to her. Thank you all. Thank you so much for listening. If you found us valuable, you can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast app. And also, please consider leaving us a rating or a review, as that helps others find the podcast too. I hope you have a great week ahead.